Raheem's out of here.
Viffer's got top pair.
He calls. And Barry just calls.
With this flop, there isn't much of a chance of someone drawing out on Barry, so he's going to slow play the nuts.
7 of hearts on the turn. It goes check, check.
It does put some bigger draws out there.
Esfandiari bets 5,600.
5,600.
Viffer folds.
Barry's still got the nuts, but if Antonio is drawing, Barry's going to want to make him pay.
Greenstein raises to 15,000.
Barry's raising, hoping whatever Antonio let out with was good enough to call with. Antonio may see through this, though, since Barry overcalled the flop. A veritable blank hit on the turn, and now Barry's check raising. These are all very strong moves. Both of which may be too strong moves for Antonio to call with just a pair and a gut shot.
And Antonio does fold. So a decent-sized pot picked up by Barry Greenstein.
Given what Antonio was holding, I think Barry got pretty close to max value on that hand. Must be because of his lucky cufflinks.
Or perhaps because of Antonio's unlucky red shirt.
His unlucky chest hair.
We're back to the grooming kit now, huh?
I don't think
Chow straddles to 800.
Yeah.
Rick Rahim makes it a double straddle, so the action begins on the loose cannon.
I can straddle for more.
Troy folds.
Troy's getting visibly frustrated.
Suited connectors for Viffer, who raises to 5,100, and pocket rockets for Barry.
With all the straddling and re-straddling, Barry will get to play a bigger pot with these aces.
Re-raises to 16-2. Action folds around to the double straddler.
I was calling your 5,000 without hesitation with these cards.
Rick folds. So now back to Viffer.
7-6 suited is one of the best hands mathematically for trying to snap off big pocket pairs, but with so much preflop action, effective stack sizes have been lowered, and he actually has worse odds to call.
Viffer does fold.
Barry manages to pick up a nice little pot without even having to see a flop, thanks to the straddle and the double straddle.
Well, that pot puts Barry up nearly $35,000, and Joe, he's starting to get things going.
While Barry's just fourth at the table in pre-flop raising, you can see that he's using his position extremely well when he decides to raise. Barry is at or near the top when it comes to his button and check raising numbers, just as he did there. Barry's play is somewhat predictable, but is nevertheless still very difficult to combat.
Rahim is straddled, so the action begins with the loose cannon who folds. Viffer raised to 2,500. Action folds around to Xiao Zhang. King Trey suited. Folds. Rick calls.
Easy to look like I'm slowing down when I ain't caught a card in an hour.
Hard to catch cards.
Believe me, when
You only get two, and they have to be good, you know?
They have to be over a 5, though.
The flop, 7 Queen 7. Rick checks.
Have you looked yet?
I could easily have a 7, man.
All right.
Viffer checks top pair.
Well, we know I could have Queen 7.
Queen 7 would be good.
Rahim's now turned a pair. With Viffer checking the flop, he might think it's the best hand.
This is the patented Greenstein move.
Rick fires 5,500.
Greenstein, not to be confused with Greenstein. Totally different guy.
Viffer calls. The river.
Kind of like your hand. You always seem to get the best of me.
Deuce of hearts.
Did you raise me with 7 deuce?
Rahim's still reaching for chips with the worst of it.
Makes it 8,000.
Now you have a hand.
It's a defense bet.
All right. See, this is a bad call, actually. I think you have me, but I probably have the best hand.
Yeah, it is. I got a jack.
It's a good call.
You got a queen, you win. Good hand. I can't beat you. I don't know why I try.
Nobody can beat the Viffer. The only person that can beat the Viffer is Viffer himself.
Well, also, Rahim just value bet a hand that will almost never be called by a worse one.
So Rick Rahim continues to spill chips all over the table, and the Swaviffer has been there to clean up his mess, this time to the tune of more than 33 grand. We're back with more right after this. Welcome back to the big game. Chao Zhang has struggled so far, which belies his usual reputation. The 55-year-old Zhang escaped Vietnam in the 70s, started working in this country as a dishwasher, and excelled at the game of poker rather quickly. He's won 3 World Series of Poker bracelets and amassed over $3.5 million in tournament winnings.
Chao's been playing in the biggest cash games for longer than most people's entire careers.
The Vifster.
I just want king 9 or better.
I like apple strudel.
Viffer straddles to 800. Barry folds. So's Antonio.
Chow chow.
9-8 for Chao.
Oh, come on.
Raises to 2,000.
Chao's decided to widen his range on the button.
Rick with ace-8. Small blind.
Rick's actually got someone dominated for once.
Calls.
I want him to win a pot, so he'll start straddling. So I'll give him a little money now. These are what you call boomerang chips. I throw them out, but they come back to me eventually.
Troy folds.
Crickets on that one.
I know what that's like. Viffer, the straddler, calls. So 3 to the flop.
7 deuce deuce.
How about 5-9 deuce?
Chao's flop top pair.
Check.
Rick checks. Viffer bets $5,000.
Viffer's trying to steal this with a donk bet. He doesn't put a 9 in Chao's raising range. He might think he can get away with it because Chao's been playing so tight. Chao doesn't seem to be deterred.
Nope, he raises to 12,000.
I knew going in if I didn't nail the flop, I wouldn't have a chance.
Rick's out. So now back to Viffer.
Viffer's trying to figure out what hands Chao could be confident in on this board.
Viffer comes over the top to $30,000.
3-4.
By raising Viffer's flop bet, Chao opened himself up to the 3-bet.
What is it? 30?
I think I started with 200.
Huh?
Started the hand with 200.
Wow, you bet.
Chao also seems to not be able to give Viffer credit for a hand on this board either. If Chao does make the call, it'll be for almost 18% of his stack.
Okay. Total 30, right?
Chao calls.
Viffer can't like that call. He's got no pair and no draw.
The turn. King of Hearts.
Viffer's probably wondering if Chao would fold to a bet on the turn if he called the flop.
Viffer checks.
Chao's trying to decide if he should bet, and specifically if he can get Viffer to fold a better hand than his.
What? What?
Chao checks. The river, and Viffer hits his queen.
Pretty unlucky for Chao.
Viffer checks.
All right, Chip.
I have a queen.
Queen? I can beat that. I know it's
You
how
have
to
2
bluff.
aces.
Huh? I know it's how to bluff me. How about I chip? Queen, right?
Wow.
Viffer wins a pot of nearly $70,000.
Nice river.
No river, no fish.
It has shifted from kings to queens now.
Pretty good read from Chao. Just got kind of unlucky on that river. Chao's been taking a beating this whole session so far.
I check my turn.